Now this morning, we're hearing from the cousin of Samuel Sterling, the man who died last year after he was hit by a cruiser driven by now former Michigan State Police Sergeant Brian Keeley. Now, that cousin saying he's disappointed after a federal judge dismissed the criminal charges against Keeley Wednesday.
Our family is emotionally discombobulated. We're hurt. We're angered. Unfortunately, some of us are not surprised, and we're not surprised due to the lack of concern, the lack of interest that we believe the attorney who's been representing Samuel has been showing. He came unprepared during what you call immunity hearing. He didn't have not one single witness. He didn't show any fact aside from a video that we feel should have been enough to show the actions of Officer Brian Keeley when he decided to take his vehicle, chase my cousin through this parking lot, and pin his body up against this wall over here. And for my cousin's last words to be, "Why did you hit me like that?" So yeah, at this time, we're kind of lost for words, but we're not lost on action. We've been peaceful. We're going to continue to stay peaceful, hoping that Dana Ness will honor her words in pursuing the appellate process. But we want Attorney Dana Ness to know that we are uncomfortable with the legal representation of the attorney that she provided for us. This is not his first time being unprepared. We as a family has expressed to him about his lack of concern, his lack of communication with us, his lack of interest in our emotions and our why behind our concerns. We will express our concerns publicly soon, but we just want to give Dana Ness time to correct the representation that she provided for us. It's even on record, the judge stated herself that the attorney was unprepared. And so right now, although our family has been mentally punched, although we lost our cousin Samuel, we fighters. We some good fighters. We don't always have to take it to the street. So right now, we're asking that the justice system and our leaders stand up and show us how to fight the proper way. Show the community who's angry, who's torn, and who doesn't believe in peace. Show us why peace shall prevail. We're angry. We don't want to act off of impulse control decisions. So we just asking the community to keep us in prayer. We asking the local pastors to reach out. We need prayer. We are a family of faith, despite what you hear about Samuel being a fugitive on the run, deemed a violent felon. They're not God. Samuel not being here today was part of, I believe, God's plan to shine a brighter light on what's going on here across our United States of America. Check into who appointed Judge Harbaugh. And that's a challenge to the NAACP, who I believe will stand with us in making sure that policies are enforced, not just here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, but also through our Michigan State Police Department. And so I had hours of conversation with Mr. Clee Jackson of the NAACP and our Kent County Commissioner, Walmack, and our next plans of action. So I just want to give a great shout out to Commissioner Walmack and calling a state of emergency here in our city with our local leaders in his efforts of gathering all our leaders together so that we can move as a collective whole. Because this impacts the entire community, not just our family. You know, there's a statement made by Brian Keeley's attorney giving a hoorah and an honor to the officer, saying that this is how we supposed to set a precedent and tone. The tone has been set for them to take vehicles and run individuals over. Tone has been set by Chris Becker not charging Patrick Leahy again, recharging him, retrying him, that you can get away with shooting an unarmed man, black or white, in the back of the head and get away with it. It's okay. It's a lack of interest. He should have retried him again, because look what happens here. There's a domino effect. I believe his decision gave that judge a little bit more oomph to make her decision to come up with immunity. He set the tone. But again, we're relying on Dana Nessel to unset that tone and stand on her word followed by her actions. We want her to personally look into the case, not the attorney, the poor representation that she sent us.
I mean, you know, what you've been saying over the past couple of minutes, I mean, obviously, you know, this was not just a number, not just a person. This was your cousin, brother, loved one. So you're saying, you know, you're calling on Nessel to kind of, you know, show the same love and care that you guys have been showing, and you said, you know, the community's been showing.
Yes, we've been showing, we've been poised, we've been peaceful. We've been trying to be understanding. This is understandable. This is can't understand this. So we've been denied our due process. We had it dangled in front of us. Deemed enough evidence for the state to say, hey, yeah, we're gonna do the right thing. We're gonna let the jury decide. We're gonna let the jury decide if Officer Brian Keeley's action was warrant second-degree murder. It wasn't a federal judge's job to violate our due process. But unfortunately, by law, if you sat in that courtroom, her back was against the wall. She had no choice based on the lack of representation that we had to make her ruling. The same evidence that he applied in the state court, he should have applied it in the federal court. Again, I repeat, he had not one single witness. I sat in that courtroom. The judge gave him hours to contact witnesses to give a later date so that the hearing can resume. He can contact not one witness. But on record, he states that the expert was on vacation. Couldn't reach him. Unprepared. Didn't even know what the hearing was about. He thought it was an evidential hearing. The judge repeatedly told him, sir, this is not an evidential hearing. This is an immunity hearing. The defense argued, hey, man, we told you this way back in November of 2024. This has been on the plate. This has been on the table. But I give the attorney credit who represented Samuel. He did let us know verbally that this was out his lane. He's never experienced anything like this. He's inexperienced when it comes to federal law, and it showed.
And I know, even though the future of these criminal charges are up in the air, you know, like we've been talking about, it's up to Dana Nessel to explore her options now. There's still the civil suit filed by your family against Brian Keeley. Are you guys...
Listen. Money ain't the topic here. Money ain't the topic here. Money ain't gonna buy justice. Money ain't gonna buy peace. Money is just a band-aid, because when all that money gone, we back to square one.
And that was Callie Lichter, the reporter there in that sound. Again, while federal charges were dismissed, there is still a civil case that's still standing in that.